Hello, everyone. My name's Yuta Jazz, and today we are going to do a reading about hidden talents you might have, or maybe not, might have not forgot. I don't know. That'll just be the title. Maybe there's just like some clarification on some talent or talents you have you need. Maybe you really have forgotten what you are kinda, cooking with, what shines when you are just being yourself and enjoying life. This reading is kind of to just help with anything like that. So it can be kind of magical and spiritual if you're into mystic stuff. And if you are practicing psychic, abilities, or it can also be just like a personal little charm that you might forget in your day-to-day life, but really does matter in some capacity that like spirit acknowledges and would like to remind people about. So yeah, let's go and get to it. You can pick whichever pile you want, and I'll start with number one. Um, I guess another thing actually would be about this card because it randomly just shot to me to, shuffle some Oracle cards as a beginner opener. So these talents in this reading is something to help with like also taking that in, acknowledging that you are one with what you are gifted to be, talent to be, have a charm as natural, vibe of coolness or whatever. Yeah, that's kind of just hinting at that. So, yeah, see you at pile number one. Hey, pile number one, camera just got weirdly blurry, and you have the medicine wheel, which is a interesting card full of information and symbols. Uh, I'm not really getting anything yet. It's a little bit vague. The number eight, though, is kind of coming through clear. Um, Possibly some type of illumination of shadow or some type of recognition of like uh, a a expression of yourself that you thought was like not appropriate or nice or good, right? That coming into your awareness as being a actual ability and talent and gift that's going to be super helpful to you going forward. It'll shine like a talent in many like a social group, many social interactions. Um, it's going to also be very like amusing or entertaining to the collective, as in people randomly are just going to notice like your separate or different vibe about things, or your body language or the way you talk or some type of ideas you share and really take it to heart as being something to look to or be entertained by. And this is something you really didn't appreciate about yourself. To some capacity, like it's been a thing that has made you need to like be in more of a survival approach and instinct, maybe protect whatever this like talent or hidden gift is, right? It's basically like you might have had experiences where that has been taken for granted, and so you've like shamed it or guilted yourself over it and have like that's resulted in a point where it's a standstill with you and this ability because you kind of are aware about it, but some of you might have like forced yourself to forget that you're capable of this thing, and it's been like a process to come back to it, either like vaguely or directly. You've really heard over this at some points of your life. Like it's just been like daunting, scary, intimidating. Oh, I've just seen a new thing I haven't seen in this card before. Oh, that is a hummingbird. I always like enjoy the point that cards keep opening up the more I use decks. Even though you see the same card a few times, like it's over time that you really get a feel for it or see the entirety of the detail that like the artists have put into cards. And that hummingbird is it's been like in some people's readings previously as well. So if you've been watching my pickup aisles and that's a reoccurring symbol for you, like I feel like it's a bit of a call out for you. But it's also a notion to take things a bit more lightheartedly because you've like already mastered and embodied so many different like needed attitudes and approaches to circumstances in life that have like not been for you, right? Or have not really led you to a point of really trusting either people or situations or other things, right? Not jumping the gun on some stuff, but it's it's also taught you so many other things besides patience or besides being closed off or stubborn or whatever. And it's time to evolve to a new peak, to a new development era or whatever, right? And go forward in a new direction with that, like completely shift your focus to turn right or left. Because like it's time and really it's not that bad of a thing. For some of you, I think you're now realizing like, huh, yeah, maybe I shouldn't have been so aggressive towards myself with this behavior or ability that I have, which is pretty varied for everyone. I can't really pinpoint too much on what it is. Maybe I'll have more examples as we go. So these two cards are reversed, and I felt like showing the top and bottom. So top, ready to roll, loyalty and devotion, and blank slate, learning from experience. So yeah, I guess if that tells you anything, you can divinate that for yourself. Da, 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 da. Okay, so for a lot of you, like you've definitely have already seen this in action to some extent in your life. At some points, it was very fun and joyful and great. At other points, it required you to focus and do like make sacrifices where, metaphorically speaking, you would need to spend more time inside actually learning, actually like spending time researching your interests, maybe developing the practice and experience in your craft in your own personal time. And, maybe you felt like you've missed out on some things in the past because of it, but you've also gained this ability to be a teacher, to be a like a front to many an occasion, many a situation, to be kind of the driving force in like group dynamics and even friendships, right? To be like a little bit of a leading hand, but even then, like it's not like you're only teaching, you're also studying at a higher level, and occasionally you'll have like a lesson or two taught to you actually by a person that can mentor you. Um, Overall, you are getting to a point where you can express this towards other people and really show it off, but there needs to be patience with the process of you getting used to the position that you are at because this is very fresh to you. This is new to you. There's no limit um, as well to what you can make or create, and that might make it at times difficult to find direction, but you will actually, yeah, have a good time with that. I also got like heard a knock in my room at that point, but anyway, there are still things that you need to move on from before you actually begin this officially full gung ho and whatever. It's not that you need to just completely let go and stop practicing everything altogether, but it is more of a case of like looking at whatever's still bothering you in a very detached manner where you're kind of just letting yourself go through the process of like being in this place, present and current, and not avoiding things and letting them develop without intentionally taking yourself off road or self-sabotaging or accidentally letting go too much of focus or getting into overthinking mode as well, right? Finding like that actual internal peace and tranquility where you're okay with whatever process you need to go through. And for some of you, like you, this is actual grief of some sort, life grief, pe people grief, pet grief, whatever it is. This could be like some of that guilt or shame about personal life choices and development, as well as maybe miss opportunities that you didn't accept or didn't look out for or didn't consider seriously enough, and maybe you're blaming yourself over it. But really, if you sit in this place and you let yourself like come to terms and accept like that life has gone this way, and then maybe just be open to the answers of it, question some parts as well, right? Without getting too deep into it, you can really find peace and then finding the strength to move forward with like your ambitions completely in tune with it, in flow with it, not rushing, not running ahead, but also not getting stuck in the process, right? It's okay to take time off. It's not necessarily like full time off. If you need that to be that way, you can do a vacation if that interests you, right? Whatever, like if it's a long-term thing, maybe this is as big as like a year, right? And you will still be moving forward with creating whatever it is you will need to create. Take the time you need to be in this space throughout that like growing process as well. There's people in very many different of a position with this pile, but more or less you are in the ascension and in the evolution of like your actual talents, either at point zero or at point 100. It doesn't really matter where you're at with this, but um, yeah, you're gonna get through this just chill and let time pass, it's like time isn't necessarily a thing that we need to threat over because everything's just gonna, be what it is. It is more of a process, and so you can't really skip the process, like, and its inevitability. Some things are just constants, right? And it's a case of like how you can't predict how much time is needed for any single thing of development. This is like one of those examples. Just gotta give it to do its work in its own room, and just try and have fun with it. Try and still find the passion and maintain that while being real with whatever needs to be acknowledged at the depths, as well. The subconscious is the answer here, honestly. And you're okay. Ultimately, like, remind yourself like, okay, I'm fine. I can take like a break or do what I have to and like maintain this passion in going forward with practicing or learning about my talents and embodying it to the best I can. Um, if you're taking a long while, like it's going to really be something that's gonna become like a long-term foundation and lifestyle, and for others, it is something of like a few different things you might go through in a succession of years, or maybe an interest right now that's like very relevant, right? But might not become in a few years, but still you can use it to your benefit, or just some like, I don't know, fun project or personal like creation thing. Art is coming through with this. I just saw guitar, music in general, like for whoever that is important to. Yeah. Keep doing it because like whatever purpose you're going to find with it is going to be the thing that makes you happy and it is worth it. If you've been doubting it, don't give up on it. I think most of you have not even considered that. It's just kind of like things keep turning and coming to a point and everything's fine, but there is turbulence, and also there's a lot of stop energy, and also there's a lot of self-doubt or lack of faith and strength, or thinking like, wait, did something go wrong in the process of me creating this thing or manifesting it? And it's like, no, 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 everything's on track. It's just slow down for a purpose, for a reason. All right. Uh, yeah, that is everything I see here. Um, if you can go for anything that's gonna like make you more relaxed, take the opportunity. Thank you for sharing your energy. I appreciate you. If you want to leave your story or whatever you want in the comment section, I appreciate all the likes and all the good vibes. If you want to see more of my stuff, click on the channel. There's a few things going on besides tarot, and otherwise you can check out my link tree as well in the description box. So yeah, see you later. Have a good one. Hello, pile number two. You chose the Wild Woman 62, coming through quite strongly. A expressive feminine nature, and there might be some like controversial vibes you be speaking at the moment, but also you're very much approachable and pure in the sense of how you're like doing this. So yeah, you have like something that you are actually intentionally like doing or creating with this expression that you have. It's very raw, it's very real, it's very feminine in some aspect, whether you're a man or a woman. Um, Even if you're a really manly man, the thing is like the how do you say it? Like the back of where it's coming from is so like at the heart, at the core truth of things, like so caringly, even if you're like harsh or something, there's something about it that's very supportive and nurturing, the point of like people receive it like caring attention, even in the point of like, let's say if it was coming from a very wild teenager or party guy or whatever, right? And it's like a moment of like, hey, 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 like actual care or attention, or it could be even a stranger that's very odd, very out there, maybe quite dreamlike, but it comes through in such like a weird roundabout magical way that it really inspires people to be at ease, at peace, and more carefree in how they talk to you and around like you with other people. Their speech might actually change, and you're like, why the what the you don't when I come around the corner, you actually don't talk like this. Maybe you've had some questions about some people if they're real with you, and it's like they're more real with you than with other people because you have this aura around you. And I feel like some of you have had a difficulty with staying honest with this, but you've mastered the difficulty of like being real and just like how you naturally are, maybe you have a really weird style in fashion. Maybe you have very quirky, interesting beliefs of like what life is and how to enjoy it. Maybe you are a person that really sees some like pure fun or passion in like everything you do, like it's kind of like almost like coming across like I make everything sexy or something like that. Like Um, yeah, and interesting energy, but very trustworthy as well. I like it's very mature in some manner or fashion. Very mature. We're gonna get some tarot and see what else comes through. Cars are fucking flying. That's what's coming through. All right. I feel like people have just been annoying to you. Not all people, like clarification, like, not all people, but like being annoyed by people has been like a bit of a normal thing for you where it's like why do I gotta like be spitting fire and telling truth to people? Why am I the one that needs to like resolve or instigate conflict? Why am I the one that is the one that frickin' gets it and others don't? Like you don't have that huge of a problem where it's like negative or attacking. It's more of a case of like you just have that as either a nag or a notion that you've noticed that it's like I don't know why people can't be real. I don't know why people can't be honest, but it's legitimately like I need to take steps forward in the most uncomfortable of spaces or dynamics and situations where it's like, can I really get like, is it even worth it to be like this? Like, is it necessary? Maybe I shouldn't even bother. But at the same time, like, you can't help yourself. You just naturally are this energy of coming forward, being real, being honest, not mincing words. And it just really, like, pierces through people. And some of them might have, like, called you to be, like, heartless or a bitch or a dickhead or insecure or some other shit. And it's just been like, none of that really applies to you because it's just coming from a real place. Why don't you get it? Like just, like I'm not doing this to harm anyone. Can we get over the point that everyone's just like acclimatized to being socially awkward, weird, and abnormal because no one's actually being real or honest? Like it's not healthy for society, and you really, really feel it. It really gets under your skin, and you like can't help yourself in how you are. You've learned how to deal with it for your mental wellness and sake, but it might have been really hard in the past because like people were yeah something else, and now you've like learned who to trust and how to trust and what not to do and how to do things, and you've like come to a place where it's okay compared to where it's been, and you also even have like new prospects you're looking forward to. Yeah, so you've really actually needed to stand up for general balance and common decency and norms. You might have really also needed to take yourself into accountability because you've noticed that like with this attitude comes like a responsibility in a sense, but also it's more like with this attitude comes an impact that I am considerate of is how it's coming across. Like you need to look out for certain things for your own betterment, not necessarily for other people's sake. Like sometimes, yeah, feelings you take into consideration, but other times it's also like not it's nothing about the feelings. Like take the feelings out of it or whatever, but other times it's also a case of like you know how it's gonna shift the situation or tip the scales, and you take consideration in how you do it because you really know how tricky and finicky like reality can be with that. And it's kind of like almost like gossip, right? Not that this is like me. This is how like an image is being portrayed to me of like gossip that isn't toxic, but gossip that is healthy and isn't disrespectful. It is including like emotions or venting that is a bit maybe dense at times, but ultimately with everything like taken into the conversation it is a forward-going conversation that is mutually respectful of all parties involved. It holds up truth and honesty, and it really impacts like reality and people in a positive ripple. It doesn't ripple out, and if it does ripple out, I feel like you're the first that notices it, and you can avoid it most of the time. But you still go back and you're like, okay, this needs to stop. Like, where else can we twist this or turn this so it like does a good curveball? Um, and it's like a personal desire of yours for the world to be better in how we communicate. And this is like one of the areas you're doing it. You might actually be a person that's very much in between of like a lot of communication or just energy of communication. But ultimately, like you really look through the the eye of truth within things because like it feels almost like an attitude of like if I have a blessing or a curse situation, I'm gonna definitely use it for the blessing aspect and I'm gonna do my damnedest to have fun in the process but be real, be alright, you know, and like I don't need to like hurt or kill a bitch over nothing when it's like something so unnecessary, right? And like that energy has to go somewhere, and not everyone knows how to handle it. But this is transformational for it because it's kind of like the philosophy, if you've ever heard in spirituality, of like not destroyers, but I remember them like destroyers. I don't know where the heck I've heard it. It's a vague term here and there, but like there's people that create and have been like created to be makers of something here. There's other people that maintain stuff, right? You could also attribute this to human design, but it's more of another thing of just like plain the instincts of like internal instant response is either build or whatever, and there's destroy, where you just eat up like the old reality. There's just groups of people that will fight anything at some points, or anything that is of a certain energy that doesn't really serve the collective. And sometimes that's how you see like huge necessary arguments that seem like nonsensical and meaningless, but they actually have a point of like getting that stuff out in the air just so it can clear it freaking up. So, but this feels like it's at a higher point than, just people bickering on the internet. This feels like it's multi-dimensional, but also like, I don't know, it goes to many different layers. Well, it goes to many different layers. You might have a really interesting voice, speech pattern, a natural talent to how you talk, like talk, something about talking. You might have been weird for how you talk, but now it's developed into such a accepted norm that it's like, shit, I'm kind of a speaker now. And a speaker is just like a loose term we can use here of a person that actually expresses more awareness than is listening to whatever it is, right? To gain that awareness. It's more of a case of like, how are we going to steer this whole cloud of consciousness or awareness of like the situation, or where is it going to go by the way of how we're going to react? So, yeah. Um, I got lost in channeling and I shuffled the cards and I actually wanted to see the top and the bottom, but we can just leave like all of that. Yeah, because it's just old energy. Like all of that would have been just old energy anyway. So whatever like issues or problems you've had with this, I feel like it's clearing up. It's going away. It's definitely going away. It's weird. It's kind of like I want to say a message, but it's like the energy of the group that's listening to this message is shifting as I'm reading the freaking reading, which is weird. I've had that before, but it hasn't been like a general message or a general reading where there's a bunch of people, I don't know how many of y'all, and throughout like also going into the future, how many extras. So like, um, I'm kind of just waiting on it to dial in. It just sounds like like old internet dial-up in my brain at the moment, like That's freaking interesting. I just heard a ding. I think we're good to go. Which deck though? Okay, I think I might read two extra decks. Like a, I just got I don't know, that was a weird experience, a direct like transmission for the reading on some level. That was interesting. Like, hold up. We need to add something or whatever. I don't even know. Anyway, taming the wind and thunder. Why do okay, so some, no, most of you believe that you haven't mastered this. There's a part of y'all that you think like, ah, I'm gonna go back to this at any point in moment, and I'm gonna, but you won't. Like, there we go. You won't, but you believe that you're just gonna regress into like your old bitchy ways, is how that came across, or your insensitive negative comments, might come back to get the better of you. It's like you are a different person. You've been wielding this in quite a raw, youthful form, yes, but so well that like you're not seeing the ins and outs of it. Maybe some things have slipped, but those slips have like changed your course even more so into this high priestess that it's like don't worry about it. You will see consequences. I don't feel like you are though. Like I wanted to be a devil's advocate, but like I can't even because it really does feel like this group isn't gonna have that. If you're gonna overthink it, but even then, I don't think so. Like, I don't know, something has shifted so much here throughout like your current life that I don't think you you're you would need to really focus and intend to go here to be this coyote, to be like out there to get someone to really like go at their throat. And I don't think that's gonna be necessary in your new mentality and how you approach things. You're like, I don't know, really vibing. You're very flowing. You're quite aligned with like natural law and order and just like learn about it. I guess is the best way I will describe it. Like learn about it and know that it's okay. This reverse oh, upright. Okay. Um, there's so many cards that want to come out, but like okay, okay, okay. Now can we stop? Okay, now we can stop. I feel like the guides of this group really want to pep you up and encourage you and make you feel like more secure in your ability to like really snap a situation apart just by the way you talk about it. Because like if you couldn't do it or shouldn't do it, you wouldn't be doing it, but you are doing it and you've learned. I honor how I want to feel. Instead of praying for an outcome, I pray for the highest good for all. I choose to learn through love. Hope is a conduit for miracles. Now, that one's different. That one's a bit of a special Im image. This is like a wish coming true thing. This is a blessing you never thought you'd get this lifetime. And it can be as big or small as whatever. It's internally important to the degree that it's going to be quite noticeable to you that life has changed this much. I have become a new person. Nothing in my life is going to be the same. I need to get over it. And that it is very pertinent. Like, I need to get over it. The presence of love will always cast out fear. Yeah, lean into love. You're already there. Like you're already here, you know. Obstacles or detours in the right direction. Like I guess how that's coming across is take on this different approach where you know that you are right in the changes, in the weird mishaps, in the detours and things not working out, like that it's an elevated place. Start replacing like the lowest bandwidth of where your emotions or thoughts sit at, and then the highest one will also evolve, and you'll start seeing like new horizons in front of you. Because currently your lowest bandwidth is like it's below the screen at this point. It's very jarring to your psyche to try and accept the awesome truth of this to you personally, because there's something awesome of a feeling hidden here that you're just not looking into. Like you can find this feeling within you to really go forward and go ham with this, and then, like maybe jump out of the page even to the next game for you. Because yeah, I feel like you got the point. I think we got there. Thank you so much for watching this reading. Um, was really cool reading for you. I hope you have a good time, and if you wanna share your story, go down in the comment section and feel free to do so. Otherwise, whatever, it's cool. Thank you for your support, and if you want to see more of my stuff, go to my channel or the link tree down below. So, yeah. Bye. Much love to you. Hello, pile number three. You got the sun. We're gonna jump right into it. I want to use a different deck for you. I only really pull it out if it feels right. I don't know. It's a interesting one. It's the deck I always wanted, man. Always wanted. It's imperfect in its own ways, but I love it too much to complain. But I will admit I am that picky about a bunch of things. Any things. Huh. I feel like there's a plot twist in the cards coming up, like there's a but or something coming up, like I don't know, dramatic music. Not dramatic, but like in a movie or drum roll please or whatever. Reversed, upright, reversed. Okay. So you're sure that you have this ability and you're going for it, but then, oh yeah, you're just throwing away indecision. Okay, okay. And okay, now I see. So you're juggling a few things while trying to be like this perfect thing of what you want and where you want to go, and you're taking your first steps and leaps and not being held back by doubt or indecision. And then this reading might freak you out, but don't worry, it's for you. Like this is gonna help. It's not gonna mess up your manifestation for whoever like was worrying about like, oh no, is this reading gonna take me off course? And it's like, no, you're on course. Everything's fine. Chill, chill. We're just talking about your approach, about where like this is going and where you're maybe spending too much energy or time and focusing on the wrong things. And you are learning how to do the right approach so you have something else that's tangible and more focused for you, like coming into your reality, like something more of like what you can chew on. Because currently you're kind of just in a balancing act of a thing you like but is nothing in a way, and then another thing that's keeping you afloat and helping you manage your responsibilities in what you need to do and how you need to like take care of your stuff. But then I feel like this thing that's here, it's not supposed to be a pentacle or anything, but you have a pentacle there. You also have a pentacle here. There's also a lot of freaking different signs and symbols that you're seeing. You kind of got lost, and so you then decided to take it slower, which is a good approach. Um, just don't think you need results right now, basically. Like, it's going to happen in its own time. You are developing in this new new groove of you. Like Don't tie it down to a way you should be doing something or a plan or a schedule. Let it flow as something that develops, like an art form or um, using like different mathematical equations. Sorry, different mathematical equations and maps and other graphs to get to a certain speculation or conclusion, but then letting it speak to you instead of you diving and trying to pull something out and then being desperate in how it's not working, right? Like you're finding a new way of going through this thinking process in how you really make stuff happen. And it's supposed to be a slow, curious, developing, interesting story where you take your time with it and like it all sinks in, and then you can develop the things that are working more consciously and solidify it and expand it even further from there on out when the time comes, right? But also like be present in how you're making it happen and enjoy it and be happy about it because like you're not rushing through trying to be perfect all the time or be of a certain caliber, like aura, like pizzazz, certain jazz. Like it's kind of like stop trying to keep up this tally or face because like you're already beyond it and have been always beyond it. I think this might have helped you somehow previously, but like if you are really gonna start changing up the way your juggling act is going, right, as you want to, this group seems and feels like the people that are set on something like a mission, like you have something here. So relax because it's about having fun with it. Otherwise, what's the point? Like you won't really, you know what I mean? Like you're already cooking with something and it will shift to like more and more of what you want if you take your time and get into it. Like look into it. Let it speak to you. Let it really show you something you haven't noticed about why you even do this to begin with. Okay, okay, so something happened. Okay, something happened with some relationship stuff. Some of you are letting it go. Some of you have some friends helping you through this. Some of y'all are actually just alone and hurting over some stuff. One more. You're finding truth in the situation of what happened that kind of threw you. This is not gonna stay with you. It's, you're doing well. It's transforming. You will have a better environment to be this in your life because this has happened. Whatever this bad thing recently has happened. Recent can go back as far back as a year. Year and a half for some of you. Something like that. Could be recent as now-ish. So something like that, right? This year maybe. But relax. Take your time. Like this is also probably a reason why it's important for you to slow down. Because like you are learning how to give up one life for another, or how to balance one aspect of who you are with another, and how to refine that into a better approach for yourself and your life and how you communicate with you, but also your talents and abilities. Because there's more than just this. There's this is energy where there's a lot of openness. There's so much chance and probability. It's kind of like energy where you can go anywhere with it, but you, why if you can make a masterpiece? And it's not that it's like grandiose. It really doesn't feel like that. It just feels like a craftsman or craftswoman type of determination, or an artist set out for perfection, or a musician that just understands the vibe and the deep groove of what they are creating and making. It's like that's what this is. This is something that touches the soul and really vibes with you and permeates through through people like you it kind of just has that shock awe like present moment type of thing where you just are there experiencing whatever it is. Um, and it might be anything, but this feels like it's a long-term thing. Like you're making something that's not going to happen overnight, and it includes a lot of you personally as well, and your personal development, maybe identity as well. Maybe there's some hidden other stuff that's happening underneath the surface in the subconscious that is bringing it out in your creativity and your creation. Maybe you're going to teach other people how to do this. Yeah. Some of you said hell no, and I get that. This is for, the people that said like, huh, maybe that would, or said indefinitely, that would be amazing and fun. I want to do this for other people. I don't think that's a lot of you, but maybe. I don't know. Yeah, give yourself some joy in it. Don't be such a perfectionist. Because you might just like lose yourself in the sauce, as it says, or lose yourself in the craft and the doing and the making and never actually be present throughout the journey of creation. Um, it's not the actual finished product we're going for, especially if you're like an artist. It's something beyond what you do and create. And that's a very personal note as well, in my like personal at least opinion, but as well as how it's coming across from spirit. I won't say this is just me because it is an energy of like whatever you do it for you, you know. If it makes you happy, who cares? If it keeps you loving life, like all right. If it's a difficult journey of like a hero or a magnificent mind or a heart that keeps on giving or a treacherous psyche that keeps on speaking truth and reality in some darker aspect of whatever it is, right? But you love it and it matters to you. Keep going, keep doing it. Because ultimately, you are the Empress and the Magician. You are everything to go for with your own interests and what you believe in, like keep doing it, but don't forget how and why you're doing it, and don't let other obligations keep you away from achieving the experience that you really want, because this is a feeling you want to have, and like sometimes those specific feelings find us when we are at the most routine mundane part of our daily lives, but when overall in the grand scape of like a few years or whatever, we have made it to where we have always dreamed to get to or wanted to, or we don't understand how something appreciate like we appreciate or something that we deem as beautiful and meaningful to us just is in our life. We are just breathing, living it, and making it and doing it, and it has its bright sides and its dark sides, but ultimately it is a part of like the real being that you wanted to achieve. Enjoy it for all it has to offer you because you're gonna take so much from that, like so much from that. And whatever heartache you're holding on to, let it go. It's not the real core of your inspiration. You just think it is. If you give this up, this isn't gonna temper with your creative juices or what you make or what how you come across to people. You're not gonna lose it. You're just gonna develop and change. You don't need to hold on to it. It's a groove. It's a vibe. It expands. This moves on and evolves. It was really interesting reading. All right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And if you want to share your energy or interest or whatever this has related to you on, you can go to the comment section. Thank you for the like, subscribes. And if you want more content from me, you can go to the link tree down below as well. I'll see you next time. Peace. Hello, pile number four. I apologize if my voice is a bit coarse. It has really went on throughout the reading. A lot of interesting energy coming through. So yeah, you got the Time Master. It's a very strong card. Strong card. It's kind of softer coming through this time. Most of the time, it's a very defined masculine energy. Sometimes protective, sometimes of immense wisdom. This time it's more of like a caring granddad vibe, where it's like an elder that sees more than, most people kind of give credit to, and really goes by that notion and being a supportive, like comfortable force to come to be I don't know, tended to like by an elder, like a grandparent, like a wholesome parent in even just the community, like that kind of parent vibe, grand elder of a tribe almost type of thing. But this feels more modern, which is probably why I'm losing like words for it as well. You're very like I don't think it translates the same way from Lithuanian to English. Solidus, solidary, like solidarity, but in a person, like you're very that, like um, you have an energy of solidarity to you, like in a way of like a nice, somber, trustworthy, and a particular energy, very clean, very to the point, also clever. I don't know. Interesting. Very wise, elder-like, observant, calm, peaceful, slow. Like you've learned this before. You see through shadows. You're so proficient. You see through your own madness and issues and stuff like that, and mental like problems of other people. I feel like some of you have said just now as I said that, yeah, but I don't know how to handle higher realm energy. Like, and what I mean by that is like information coming through from ancestors. It feels like God, nature, environment. It's like you're not necessarily like easily tapped in or connected to the cosmos energy of wisdom, but you know how to wield your grounded practical knowledge, but you've just noticed that it's been lacking, like it's not enough. You need to tap into more of your wisdom, and it's like you can do it for yourself, but you're understanding how to do it for others, or how to embody it in a way that doesn't just benefit you, but also benefits other people. Interesting. So yeah, you are aware as you can be that yes, I have this talent. Yes, I know how to do this. So you don't even need to talk to me about what this is. I understand what this is. I am very observant. I am very aware. I am very intelligent. Um, I understand when I'm going through madness or bullshit and intense feelings or emotions that don't attribute like me to my betterment, and how to sort that out is it's that part doesn't matter even for some reason in the context of the reading. So we're gonna keep moving on. Yeah, you went through like your hardships. There's nothing there. I accidentally shuffled the deck of like the cards that I wanted to show the top and the bottom, but it doesn't matter. It's fine. Um, All right, so let's get some more oracle cards. All of these are just only oracles so far. So boop de ba. That was a lot. That was a lot. You have a lot that's just like behind a glass ceiling of some sort, and you understand that it's time to break through, but you're kind of panicking because it's almost like if you were in a glass tube and there was a ceiling you need to break through. There's elevation in the water, and you need to break through yourself before the water can actually go and do its thing. Um, and like push you beyond the glass ceiling, and you're panicking because the water's rising and you haven't broken up the ceiling and you think you might get stuck or something. Um, which one is reversed? Okay, so this one is reversed, and this one is upright, and this one's reversed as well. Interesting. This is like a mix of both of these cards. The moment I embrace peace within and surrender, the outcome is the moment that the universe can truly go get to work. I right off the bat have a feeling of like people, you know that you need to make peace with something. Some of you and definitely know that you just need to make peace with something, but the question is, how do I make peace with it? This is a complicated answer for to just give to anyone for everyone. But I guess the best you can do for yourself is talk to yourself about it in any way possible. It needs to just feel right for you. And if you just think of like, I want to do that, I want to be in a feeling that where that happens, and you kind of settle in like whatever that feeling would be to you, right? Maybe you journal, maybe you listen to music, maybe you take an early walk in the morning to a lake, maybe you stare at a mirror for 3 hours. Don't do 3 hours right away if you've never done it. Maybe try like anywhere between 20 minutes with a break in the middle to just five to 2 minutes in the morning, right? Um, or in the night or whatever it is. Go talk to nature. That helps. Either the stars, but I more envisioned like forests and trees, maybe a waterfall for some of y'all. Go do the thing that you haven't done in a while, but you know has always helped you. You've been avoiding it for a reason, and I think you're afraid of like, what if I can't make it through this one? Because you understand to some extent somewhere, maybe in your subconscious or conscious of like, I haven't ever been able to get over this one. Like it has always followed me. I have tried my damnedest, and I'm losing track of time, you know. Is it happening? Is it not happening? Am I gonna just get stuck in the tunnel of it? And it's more of a case of like you won't, just because you haven't done this before and it's never been done for you before on some level, doesn't mean that you aren't already doing it and getting through it. It doesn't mean that you can't still try and do things and learn and, you know, approach stuff in a new way that's uncomfortable just because you have experience or even age for some of you is a factor. You're wise because you, even in this somber age, whatever that might be to some of y'all, um, it's the point that you still do things in a youthful manner that really matters, but you've just learned the grip of it and the charisma and the solitude maybe aspect, you know, taking your time, patience, calm, power, authority. Um, and then also, you know, the harder side of it is like with that you still come in fresh and new and not knowing and figuring things out. You're never alone. You know, don't forget about like what you've learned. It can come in handy right now. And that is different to all of you. You're different shamans. When I accept the love of the universe as my primary teacher, I will always be guided back to the light. Yeah, this is your superpower. You've done this all the time. You do this to other people all the time. Just turn it on to you too, you know? Ask Spirit to really annoyingly remind you, and if you are avoiding it that bad, I think you'll just take the leap at that point. Because after all, you're going there. Obstacles or detours in the right direction, that is not a sign that you can't get through this. That was really important for someone. You will build with your power, your courage, and all of these awesome things that you found, but this is also more of the caring, nurturing, like vulnerable, innocent maybe reckless side of you that needs acceptance, and reckless in the point of like maybe you don't know everything. Maybe you need to do some harsh decisions. Maybe you need to be on your feet. Maybe you just need to figure out your situation in a mess of it, right? But it's like coming together the right way, and you're doing your best, and it's okay to feel your way through the way you need to. Embrace the new, but also the patterns that have worked for you, and you'll remember who you are. You have forgotten what this means to you. Instead of we're looking about like what how do I need to be in my community? What do I need to attribute it to? How do I need to act? Where do I need to go? Remember that you do this for yourself, and only then can you really share that wisdom. But the journey is you. The journey is not other people. This, even if it is a part of you to be an elder, a speaker, a teacher, a healer, or a spokesperson of some sort, maybe just, a authority influence, maybe you're the head of your family or something. It doesn't mean or matter that you need to just do that for that and focus on that journey. It's about how you feel inside of you, and that's why you are this figure. It's not that it fell in somehow a different way. It's because you feel, you go, and this is how you naturally are and align. And it's not about just learning about it, it's about learning about yourself. Because you have some multiple talents going on here. This feels very magical. I honestly just feel like I'm talking also to a lot of mystics. Some of you are not mystics, some of you are just very wise in life, and you don't believe in practicing magic. That kind of strongly came across. But you accept that maybe it's a part of your unspoken reality and it has something to do with your life, but you are more taking it on practically, and it requires then a real approach to the vulnerable side of this, to the spiritual side of this, to like the feminine, if you believe in that, you have the masculine down. Take action, the feminine direction of how to deal with this for yourself, the more creative, sensual, vulnerable, emotional, like aspect to all that of what is happening here with your talents. So, yeah. This was really cool. Thank you so much for letting me read your energy. I hope this has helped. If you want to share your story, go ahead and share that in the comment section. If not, that's okay too. If you want to see more of me, I am also in Linktree, bio stuff, whatever, with all of that, Twitch and YouTube Jazz Gaming and everything else. And you can find that in the description below. And yeah, I'll sign off here because I'm getting tired and loopy. So yeah. See ya. See ya. See ya.